Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast. Ozcast. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Welcome to Hong Kong Confidential. I'm Jules Hannaford and I'm your host. I'm an Australian woman and I've been living in Hong Kong for many years. I'm a mother, a teacher, an author, and I want to share my wisdom and the wisdom of others with you. Thanks for joining me and I hope you enjoy the show. Hong Kong Confidential is brought to you by Teresa's Turkish Towels. Teresa imports the finest 100% Turkish cotton towels that dry very quickly, making them perfect for Hong Kong's humid climate. Say goodbye to the traditional smelly and stinky towels and try the colourful and fresh selections available online or in Teresa's Wan Chai store. Use the promo code CONFIDENTIAL online or mention this podcast when you visit in person to receive $100 off your entire order when you order 2 or more towels. With 100% satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, the only thing you've got to lose are the musty smells that permeate traditional terry towels. Visit www.hkturkish.com in order to get the address and directions to Teresa's semi-hidden location. Today I'm here with Richard Wickes. Hi Richard, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, thank you for meeting me today. So, do you want to tell me a little bit about this game that you've invented?
The game I've invented is called Mirror Me Cards. And the idea is to help children to develop healthy emotional habits. What I discovered was, with Facebook and everything else, children are actually, and people are generally becoming less empathetic. And empathy is the glue which holds us all together. So that if something happens to somebody else, we need to feel that to work as a society. And I was coaching some people for some general issues. They had problems at work and such. And I realized that I could turn this into a card game because I've been playing games for ages and ages. I'm a big, you might say, games player, but board games, adult games. Grown-up games, that sounds wrong to say adult games, And so what I did is I made a central card, and I'll show it to you, that says problems, questions, or wish. So would you play it with me just right now?
Certainly would. Okay. How do we play?
So it's designed, or most appropriate, I think, for 4 to 11-year-olds. So it's in the land of make-believe, all right? That's fair to say. And I would say it's probably also, like a lot of adults, they played it and they said they really like it. But I would say once you get into teens, you tend to be a little bit more...
Too cool for school.
Too cool for school. Yeah, exactly. So can you think of something which is bothering you a little bit? And the idea is that a parent can use this to coach their child. So if their child had a bit of an issue, maybe they've seen a movie and they weren't that happy about the movie, or there was something scary in the movie, then they can talk to their parent about it.
Okay, so am I going to play this with you imagining I'm a child?
Yeah,
or doing it as an adult?
I'd like you to be imaginative. So just pretend you're a child.
Okay.
And the game goes, you think of an issue. Okay, so you know what it is?
Yeah.
Good enough. All right. Now you notice how you feel in yourself. Yeah. So you notice how you feel it in your body. So I generally say to the child, okay, feel it in your body. Where do you feel it?
In my heart.
Do you feel it in your heart? All right, good. So you've got a feeling, okay? And you can put your hand on the card to connect with the card. Okay, so this card represents this problem and such. You don't have to tell me the problem if you don't want to. All right, now I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to give you 2 cards. It doesn't matter how many cards. So I give you 2 cards, and you're going to pick one which you like, and you're going to make believe that you're one of them. The 2 cards, one is Angel, the other one is Storm.
Okay.
So which one would you like to be? Would you like to be a storm or would you like to be an angel?
I think I'd like to be a storm.
I think that's very cool. A lot of people choose angel. And we'll put angel to one side so you can still use it. So you're a storm right now, okay? So are you one big black cloud? Are you two clouds? Or what do
I'm
you
a
look
whole
like?
sky of clouds.
You're a whole sky of clouds.
With lightning and thunder.
Lightning. Okay. And are you dark or are you light? Or does the sun go through?
Dark. No sun.
Or no sun. Okay. So how do you feel being this storm?
Powerful.
You feel powerful. Okay. Do you notice where you feel that in your body?
In my head.
Okay. All right. You're not sure. That's right. So that's right. I can see you shrugging your shoulder, but that's okay.
Okay.
So it's just, okay. So you're imagining being something else. All right. And now think about the original problem as a storm and how do you feel about it? Does it feel the same?
Yeah, I guess it feels the same, but not powerful. It was more scary.
More scary.
Yeah,
okay.
but still, I can see the link with the storm.
Okay. Good. Well, we can pick 2 more cards. We move on.
An owl or a bird. They're cute cards. I like the images on them.
Yeah,
I'd like to be an owl, please.
I like owls so much. Okay. So you're an owl. All right. So you can put your hand on the card to connect to the owl. Where are you now? What time is it? Is it late at night? Are you sitting in a tree? Are you flying?
I'm asleep during the day.
You're asleep now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you got? Where's your head? Is it under the wing or is it?
Yes, it's under my wing.
Oh, okay. And do you have any eggs with you? Or are you?
No.
And are you in a tree?
Yep, I'm in a tree.
Free or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how do you like it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I feel comfortable.
You feel comfortable. How do you feel inside your body being an owl right now?
Calm.
All right. So that's the make-believe you're an owl. Okay. And now think about the problem or the issue that was on the focus card. As an owl, how do you feel about it?
Less worried.
Less worried. Okay. So owls generally have different issues. So, all right, then you've got another 2 cards. We have an apple and a snake. We can leave the other cards open, so you've got bird and angel. You can still choose if you want to. It's not like a rule game. It's like a very free game. It's like, oh, you want to pick 5 cards? I give you 5 cards. Do you want to take it to its conclusion, or are you?
I'll choose the snake.
You're going to be snake? Okay, yeah. So what colour snake are you?
Green.
You're a green snake. And where are you sitting? Are you outside, inside?
On the path.
On the path. Are you in Hong Kong? Are you in a desert? Or are you in a jungle?
I'm on Llama Island.
A Llama Island snake. Okay. And as a Llama Island snake, you're on a path. What colour? You're green, did you say? Okay. And are you curled up? Or are you all long?
No, I'm stretched out. I'm moving.
Have you eaten?
I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry. Okay. And how do you feel being a Llama Island snake stretched out on the path?
Inquisitive.
Inquisitive. Okay. How does that feel in your body, being a Llama Island snake?
It feels free.
Feels free. Good. And now think, as a Llama Island snake, think of that original issue.
Okay.
Yeah. How does that feel?
It feels like I could get away from the issue.
Okay. All right. And then we'll give you another 2 cards. So balloons and a fish.
Oh, I want to be a fish, please.
I want to be a fish. Oh, you like the natural things, don't you? You got like an owl. And
well, they're really cute pictures. I love that. This picture of the fish is very cute.
Okay, so you're a fish. Are you in a fish tank? Are you in the sea? Are you in a pond?
I'm free in the sea.
Oh, are you deep in the sea? Or are you?
No, I'm in the shallow water with lots of other fish.
Oh, you're in
a wreck.
Are you in a wreck?
I'm in a wreck. I'm a wreck.
Yeah, I'm a wreck fish. Okay, yes. So, yeah. So, how do you feel being a fish?
I feel really happy being a fish.
Really happy. You really like fish, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so where do you feel that in your body, Julia?
I feel it in my whole body. I feel it everywhere.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave your whole body a little bit of a shake.
Yeah.
Is it like freeing?
Yeah,
really nice.
I feel free.
Whole body feelings, by the way, are more powerful. So when people start going, oh, yeah, you know, we've hit
You've clicked onto
really
something
nice,
that they like. Yeah, okay.
And having good feelings is activating resources. The ability to feel good is activating resources.
So that's really cool. So can you explain to me the game and, how you came up with it and what the purpose is?
The game is called Mirror Me Cards. And, well, you know about my daughter. So my daughter in 2015, she took her life. I had a lot of soul searching to do, and I really started to look into emotions, because the more I looked into it, what people don't do is they don't share their emotions. And so what I wanted to do is and that's what really my daughter didn't do. She was in a situation. She felt under a lot of emotional pressure, and she felt like she was a failure in feeling these emotions. And the most healthy emotional habit you can have is to say to somebody, I'm not feeling good. I feel upset. I don't feel like I'm worthy or such and such.
So it's important to talk about your feelings. That's what you're saying.
It's very important to talk about our feelings. I started researching emotions, and I started realizing, so what could I have done that was better? I'm a dad, and I've got 3 wonderful children. And one of them is now somewhere in heaven, I would hope. Yeah, somewhere very nice. But I'd rather, what could I do better? Could I help some other children? I really researched emotions. I was going to do a master's degree on emotions because I developed this thing called emotional grammar, which I discovered was really helping people to connect to their bodies and their emotions. Because emotions, it's a funny thing. This is something I discovered. Emotions are a forced choice. Do you know what a forced choice is?
No, what's a forced choice?
I think my forced teeth want to fall out when I say it.
It's very hard to say that.
So a forced choice is when I say you can have A or B or C. So I might say to somebody, do you feel angry or do you feel sad? The way that they physically feel can't be expressed in the words that we use for the emotions. So there's a professor called Lisa Feldman Barrett that's kind of, at the moment, her hypothesis is like a relativity theory of emotions, in that we can rewrite emotions. Emotions actually way more complicated than we ever thought they were. And they're really whole body experiences as well. And that's where I got the idea of expressing this simple idea that emotions, as far as saying I feel happy or I feel angry, is kind of silly, but making a connection to the body. So saying I feel this in my chest, a part of the body. And so what I was doing was I was saying I could develop some simple strategies, simple games, which help children to get into the habit of saying, I feel like this. Well, how do you get into a habit? If you're talking about something where your parents are going to judge you, potentially, for feeling bad or feeling angry or whatever, then you're not going to want to do it. So the safest place, and the area that helps all of us kind of go into a more non-judgmental space, a make-believe space, where you're the same level as me, is a game. If we're playing cards, or we're playing, Monopoly, we've all got the chance to win. We're all the same. So I said, okay, games are great. And as I said, I started just playing it with people, and I thought it was going to be therapeutic. And I said, no, don't make it therapeutic. Make it about educational. Make it about developing the healthier habit of sharing what you feel. And of course, we need to have it about different things. Actually, the movement in parenting is towards coaching your kids. So instead of authoritarian and telling them what's right and what's wrong and do it like this, or, parents need to coach their kids. Well, very often they don't really know how to coach. Well, this is an ideal game for coaching kids. So you can literally take a card out, say, you were scared about Doctor Who. So that there was that scene in Doctor Who where the Dalek was coming around the corner. Okay, well, you remember you were scared. Okay, so let's see what would happen if you'd been a baby. How would you feel? Or what would happen if you'd been a diamond? Or what would happen if you'd been your big brother or a pirate or whatever? You just allow the child to step into that make-believe. And I think as you, with your background in teaching, children can fall into make-believe in a split second. And my experience, because I've tested it on parents and children, is they absolutely love it.
So do you find that the children are actually getting more in touch with their feelings, or they're able to express what they're feeling more because they're getting into a role, or they're using their imagination more? Is that it?
This is my sneaking suspicion. I think I've got too much of this scientific, the psychology background to make wild claims. But I am developing a habit. I'm asking somebody to repeat something. When you ask somebody to repeat something, then a neural path develops. And what I do think that is happening is, and this was confirmed to me by a parent, the thing is the parent said to me, my kid didn't want to go to school. And so I played the cards with her and I changed how I spoke to her. I understood what she was feeling and I understood resources that she had to feel good about this issue. By the way, most kids do not change how they feel about homework and they don't change how they feel about school by playing, say, this game. But what I did notice that the parents start to say, you feel like this about that. And, well, okay, can we pretend to be a balloon going to school for a minute? You have the resource, child. You have the resource to feel differently about this. It's in your power.
So it's a good way for the parents to actually understand how their children are feeling and get them to talk more about the feeling. It's a tool to use to get the children to open up in more detail so you can dig deeper. Is that right?
I call it like facilitating. So like I was doing with you when you said you're a snake, I said, well, snake, I could just leave it at that and said, well, where are you? Are you in somebody's shoes? Yeah. Are you on a cupboard? Are you, where are you? Are you eating something? So you've got this connection of stepping into the child's world, and that builds relationship and that builds quality time. And I think especially nowadays, we need more quality time with our kids, and just going out with them and watching them play at the playground is not the same as actually engaging with them really at their level with their feelings. It's really I think that's really
quite powerful, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's lovely. The child learns to be empathic because it's being something else.
Oh, that's interesting. So it can relate to the feelings of the thing that it's being, and so then it connects to themselves.
I think so. So Mirror Me was kind of funny. I really wanted to have points of view, and so have YOU instead of
points of view.
Points of view cards. But there is one already. I'm like, great, okay. So I thought, well, what choice, if you're given a choice of cards, what you choose is kind of mirroring you. And then it occurred to me, and one of the parents that was playing it with their kids, she said, my child is mirroring me. My child is showing me, in a way, how I've brought her up, how I've brought her to make these decisions. One of the parents was really interested because we had this child who was, whenever this child played a game, it would always want to be the strongest, most powerful thing.
Right.
If it was given the choice of something terrible, then it would pick something terrible because it was the most powerful. And when the child played my game, it had, say, the choice of, say, tiger and flower, and the child felt safe enough to choose flower. And the parent was like, wow. When I was a kid, a friend's father was a games designer, and so he would invite us over to play board games and card games from the age of about 13.
Oh, so that's where your interest in going in this direction maybe developed.
I still am a very keen gamer.
Yeah, I think in many families they enjoy playing games as a family as well. It's good. It's a good thing to do. It's a good way for everyone to connect, isn't it? And to have fun and to get away from your devices and the television and stuff like that.
Well, that's another thing. It's a really lovely physical experience to have the cards. So I have this thing about touching the cards to connect with them. Yeah, they're beautiful cards. And I've got on the back, I've put a tree.
Did you draw these?
All of them, yes.
Did you? Wow, that's amazing. They're beautiful drawings. You've got real talent. They're great.
You're not the first person to say that, but I must say perhaps I'm a little bit modest because I just don't.
Oh, they're so cute. I can see that these would really work well with young children. 8 or under, would you say?
I've gone 4 to 11. So the idea is theory of mind. So the theory of mind is the child has an idea that it can imagine what you know and what you don't know, if you know what I mean. So
no, can you explain? What do you mean?
Oh, okay. It's a psychological theory where you ask a child to, I think it's a little experiment to say whether the child has developed the theory of mind. I have 2 boxes and I have a marshmallow, say, and the child is with 2 adults, and I take the marshmallow from one box and I put it in the other box whilst one of the adults is outside the room. I say whilst the adult is outside the room, which box will the adult look for the marshmallow? And if the child says the box where the marshmallow now is, then it doesn't understand that the person outside the room doesn't know that the marshmallow's location has changed. So you have to, I know you know, or I know you don't know is a very simple way of expressing the theory of mind.
Okay, right, I get that. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you used this with a number of children, this card game?
I've done it with a number of children, but I think it's like anything. You want to play test your games.
What have been the results so far?
There's 3 games, so it's not one game, but I just showed you one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pack of cards, and there's 3 different games that you can play with the cards. The results so far are, I'm quoting here, "I love it. It's a great game," from the children. So that's the best thing.
Yeah.
And the parents who play it and pretend they're children go, "Oh, yeah, it's really good." So although I would say I'm beyond a very first prototype, so I've actually printed this set, I'm at the point where I'm going to go for, say, 500. So try to print out 500 on a Kickstarter.
Great. And are you looking for places to then sell them, like in Bookazine or places like that, or would you sell them more as a part of the work that you do?
I know my habit, I'm not very good at sharing how I feel. So if I maybe think that if I can pass it out to children, actually I want to get it throughout the whole world. The idea of the Kickstarter, ideally, is I fly to Essen in Germany in October, and I sell this to a big games manufacturer, and we get it throughout the whole world.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. And I think you're right. If we can get young people talking about how they're feeling and asking for help at a very young age, then it becomes a habit. And as they get older and when troubles get greater, they're able to ask for help earlier.
The thing that I feel, our emotions are very, very connected with our body awareness. The main thing I want parents to do is help the children develop their body awareness, because I practice Tai Chi and Kung Fu and of course I'm a body worker. So my body awareness was very high. But I think emotional regulation and the research says emotional regulation is dependent on your body awareness. Doing meditation is you're getting to that peaceful place. When you're connecting with your body, you're kind of earthing yourself, you're grounding yourself, and you're being gentle with yourself. So I think this is good. The way that children feel good from the age, up to the age of 6. There's this idea of Ainsworth and Bowlby had this theory that children feeling good, really their relationship with their parents from the age of 2 to 6, how well that relationship develops will determine all their future relationships in their life. So what is that theory? Am I seen? Am I loved? And am I safe? Now, you're not going to get all of those with a pack of cards, but am I seen? If you're playing cards with a child and you're stepping into its world, yes, it's seen. Is it loved? I think there's a certain amount of love that you can assume when we're taking the time to play. Am I safe? Yes, I think that there may be more things to that, but maybe we're supporting, am I seen? Am I loved? And that would be great if we can do that.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to build within family relationships, isn't it, for the young children?
Totally.
Yeah. How did you come up with the idea for the game?
I came up with the idea because I've been working on this concept called emotional grammar, and there's also something called family constellations. Mm-hmm. So with family constellations, people pretend to be other people. Emotional grammar, which is this, so I have a couple of websites, so I should plug them. So I have emotionalgrammar.com, which is the idea that emotions have a physical structure. So when you feel happy, your happy may be coming from your heart as a generally sort of expanding feeling, but I can talk to people who feel happy and they feel it in their tummy. And their happiness is just as valid. That's what they call happy. And when you've got negative emotions, noticing where you've got them physically helps you connect with them and then relax. So once you start relaxing with these emotions, then actually the emotions start changing. And I was working on belief statements with emotional grammar and having really, really great success.
What's a belief statement?
I'm too fat. I'm not clever enough. He was wrong. He cheated me.
So is it challenging negative self-talk?
Yeah, well, actually both. So you can say really positive things. So you can say, I'm beautiful. Well, if you don't believe it, it'll come out in the emotional grammar. if you don't believe you're really beautiful, yeah, and really you're beautiful to someone, you know, so it should be neutral. It's like, I'm beautiful, I'm not beautiful. Everyone's beautiful and not beautiful, you know? I mean, so that was interesting because a lot of the energy work that I did, I've done lots of things. I'm just too interested. So the energy work, a lot of the energy work and meditation is helping you get back to a more neutral space. And the neutral space is, it's as true as it's not true. So I'm beautiful. Yes, I'm beautiful. My cells are beautiful. I might not win Mr. Universe, might have a bit of flab on my inner thigh, but but I have beautiful cells. I have beautiful fat cells. They're the most beautiful fat cells. You know, it's just a point of view.
It comes back to that beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you take lots of different eyes and you can feel good about all of them, then you can say, well, how I feel is choice. And that's freedom. When you get somebody to say, well, how you feel is really your choice. So
if I said to you, what is emotional grammar, how would you summarize it?
Emotional grammar is a way of noting down the physical sensations that you have when you say words that relate to some emotional statement.
Okay, great. Got it. And what's then emotional regulation?
That's how well people deal with their emotions. So emotional regulation is the biggest indicator of success.
So is that like building resilience? Is it along the same lines, or is it about understanding your emotions but not obsessing or not getting carried away or not letting them overtake how you feel?
Absolutely. So resilience is how well we deal with the problems that we have. So
it's bouncing back from setbacks, isn't it?
So Martin Seligman did this thing about learned helplessness. He trained dogs to be helpless. They would stop bouncing back from problems. And he said, I wonder if that's the same. And he did this big research with the American Army, one of the biggest research projects ever done. Why do some people have PTSD after a trauma and some people don't? And they're having the same things. And the reason is resilience. What you can say about resilience is if you had a more stable family life, you were going to be more resilient. The research says we might keep an eye out for that. The biggest connection for me or the takeaway from my research was body awareness. You've got to be aware of your body. So I come back to the body.
So is that how people can achieve emotional regulation?
Well,
it's one part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing is recognizing it. So what we've shown with MRIs is the amygdala calms down. So once you recognize how you feel, there's like a feedback loop that says, it's okay. You're angry. Calm down. It's okay. Nothing's happened. But if you're not recognizing it, it obviously doesn't happen as fast. And that, in a way, that's why I think what's happening with emotional grammar is I'm saying to somebody, okay, you're angry, but what does that really mean? What do you mean angry? Because I've met so many people are angry. Some people are angry in their ears and some people are angry in their toes. Where's your angry? So say the statement, I am angry, and is it the eye? And some people, it'll all be in the eye. Yeah. And some people be, not many people, in the am. And then the angry will be, normally there'll be a flow of sensation. So it might start in the... Like
adrenaline. If you're saying I'm angry, and the adrenaline comes with it.
Well, no, but I'm not interested in the adrenaline because it might be that's happening from the chemical point of view, but I'm interested in your subjective feeling. So if you were to think, we could do it, but we don't have to do it now. If you were saying, I'm angry, then I'd say, well, how do you know you're angry?
And you might say, I feel it in my neck and my shoulders because I'm tense.
So I'd say, well, is it your neck first or your shoulders? So you say the word and...
My neck.
So it's your neck first. And then it goes down to your shoulders? Right. And then you go, okay, so can we now replace the sentence, the word in the sentence, angry, with neck, shoulders? So I am, and now I want you to tense your neck and shoulders.
I am.
Yeah.
And then release it.
So what happens? Well, you don't have to release it. As long as you're expressing what you physically feel, what's the amygdala going to do? It's going to say, chill out.
Okay.
Yeah, chill out, babe. Right. It's all right. Yeah, it's nothing happening. Yes.
And do you do this with adults and children or more just with children?
Emotional grammar, as I said, you might say it's a bit groundbreaking. So there is nobody else that I'm aware of doing it in the same way. And I think it can be used for coaching for when somebody's emotionally upset. It can be done to help people build resources because you say if you have somebody understand their emotional grammar for love or forgiveness, then they can actually start connecting to that and they start feeling those things. So it builds resources. I've done it with people in business as well, when they've got some goals. And I said, okay, so how do you feel about your goal? And you can feel that they're putting too much effort in when they think about the goal. They're making it uncomfortable for them. And they don't need to do that. They're skilled, talented people. So it can be used therapeutically. It can be used, from the coaching point of view. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I find it really fascinating.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's going to be more research into emotional grammar. I've made it a free method. So anybody can go on the website and just download it and start using it for themselves.
Can you give me an example of how you've had success with this card game? Is there somebody where you've used it with a child and you've seen a change in their behaviour or an understanding of their mood or anything like that?
No, it's early days. So
right, it's still in its conception.
It's really in its infancy. That's why I've said, look, let's not consider it a therapy game, and let's not say to kids like, you've got a problem. So that focus card says a problem, question, and wish. Because how we deal with, you might say it's like the Buddhist 3 poisons. Yeah. Why do we suffer? What we want, what we don't want, and what we don't understand. That's why we suffer. So it wasn't.
Oh, that's very nice. I like that.
It wasn't deliberately chosen these things. Yeah, it is wonderful. The Buddhist principles are very, 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 very interesting. I just said, well, you want to coach your kids as much on what they don't understand and what they want as you do for, what's the problem? Because if you only talk to them about problems, they feel they need problems for you to talk to them.
Exactly.
Oh, we don't want that.
And can you just explain to me what a coaching parenting style is?
The coaching parent style needs to be where you talk to your child about something and you get feedback. And you follow it up. You say, you still feel like this. So I've got my daughter and now she's 20 something and she's got an exam. She's worried about it. So I'm going to make some notes. When is the exam? And I'm going to track it. So you might say, I'm going to observe it. And we know, there's a theory in quantum physics that says if you observe something, it changes. You can't have no effect. So I'm sending her a message every day. How do you feel about this exam now? How's the study going? I'm not trying to put pressure. I'm just saying, I'm aware of it and I'm
here to support. Okay, yeah. That's lovely. Perfect. That's a great example. So, Richard, if people want to get in touch with you to help with the crowdfunding or learn more about your game, how can they do that?
Well, we're probably going to be doing it on Kickstarter because Kickstarter's this massive thing and I want to get it out through the whole world. And we're going to make Lemaniac, I think. I want to change the whole world. I only want to change the whole world.
Don't start small, go straight for the top.
Oh, no. I'm available on Facebook. I'm one of the many practitioners, I say many wonderful practitioners at Balance Health who've been very kind to me and very supportive.
Thank you so much for chatting to me today and introducing me to the game. And you've done a beautiful job. The cards look amazing. So congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you, dear.
Hi, Confidants. I want to tell you about my Patreon page. I've joined Patreon in the hope of getting sponsorship for my Hong Kong Confidential podcast. Patreon is a great way for my listeners to get on board and sponsor me with monthly payments, and that goes towards my production costs and rewards for my members. If you're interested in checking out my Patreon page, please go to patreon.com and search up Jules Hannaford or Hong Kong Confidential. I would really appreciate you visiting my page. So that brings us to the end of another Hong Kong Confidential podcast. I'm Jules Hannaford. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll be with me again next week. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please can you go to iTunes to rate and review it. I would really appreciate your feedback. You can email me at jules@hongkongconfidential.net, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Hong Kong Confidential. If you'd like to hit me up on Twitter, it's at Jules Hannaford. I would love to hear from you.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.